Let's welcome Cris Izaguirre.
A short Brandon story, and then I'm going to read one of his pieces. Last year for Latino Pride, which was held here at Bartini, Brandon lost all of our intros and our bios. But in pure Brandon fashion, he made them up on the spot. And he introduced me, what he said to introduce me has stayed with me till this day. He talked about my production work and Butters Poppy, but he said, every time I see this person, I just get happy. And that's how it was with me and Brandon. And every time I saw him, I just was filled with joy. About a week or so ago, I was walking pretty aimlessly, feeling like New York City had just drop kicked me in the chest. And I was wondering what the hell I was still doing here. A former lover of mine just told me I had lots of baggage and a lot of work to do. So, needless to say, I was feeling pretty rejected and alone, and I ran into Charles Rice Gonzalez. And every time I see Charles Rice Gonzalez, I get happy. We don't hang out, but I admire his work, and both in the community and on the page, much like my relationship with Brandon. And so I wanted to say to you, Charles, see too much. That evening when I saw you smiling widely and coming up to me, I got happy. And I thought, okay, Brandon, all right, there's still work to be done. And that's why I'm here. So, Charles, you make me happy, and thank you for asking me to read tonight. This poem is called Resuscitation by Any Means Necessary. The poem was inspired by the following people: Keith Styles, David Berube, Kenyon Farrell, Ashe Helm Hernandez, Paulina Helm Hernandez, and all my nieces and nephews, especially the children of Rodrigo Sanchez Chavarria and Nubia Esparza. Resuscitation by any means necessary. 1. The wedding. They gave me life with their I do, fill the room with sayagraha, soul power, and soul food, fill the spirits of the congregation, of the community, unity behind this most holy union. Africa and Mexico join in beloved matrimony, a bond we will help them hold, as they have held us, loved us, gave us life, in that old, deep Southern style, sweet like cornbread ought to be, sustenance that we can feel, joy that we have seen, like the prophet said. If we can't love and resist at the same time, we probably won't survive. They gave us survival. 2. The murder. He gave life to Troy Davis, brought him back from the dead, just a few days after Georgia killed him. He said, black bodies and innocence are an oxymoron. We done past the point of righteous indignation. This nation has a place for us, prison, the streets, a box in the ground. He holds us down, keeps us real, give words to the rage we feel when we lose another black brother to white supremacy, watch another lynching on cable TV, this one done with a needle instead of a rope. But don't get it twisted, September 21st, 2011 was a good old Jim Crow picnic. While we ate, they set another nigger to swinging. So this minister of the people spoke out. He gave us back Troy's spirit, raised his voice to Almighty God, and gave us the key to our own redemption. 3. The first responder. He gave me life that night in Central Park. Bethsaida watched over me, kept me close in the darkness, wrapped her wings around me, held me until he could arrive. His voice got to me first, from above, like an angel. He came for me, a single phone call, a 10-digit 911, and he was there. Must have ran the 10 blocks and 2 avenues to get to me before the paranoia could take me. It wouldn't be the last time he saved my life. 4. The family. They give me life remind him with giggles, Skype messages, video recorded glee covers, why I fight the fights I fight. It's not just for me, but to see a day when babies don't have to be taught swordplay in the cradle, and the hurdles we've leaped over will be dismantled, shackles hacked off, so that the ones that call me uncle and tia, auntie, can dance and giggle until this life is over, never knowing police brutality or the need to occupy Wall Street. Those precious little feet will walk in heaven on earth, give birth to little revolutionaries with no need for a revolution, but who will stand love watch over us all. 5. The Puma. He gives me life in the Thundercat mornings, Panthero and Lionel, reading the dawn in each other's arms. He sees me as I may one day be, believes in me, like I could part the sea if I put my mind to it, sees beyond the modern day leprosy, understands my reality, but wouldn't let HIV keep his love for me. It's humbling, the way he holds me against the sky. I fly when I am with him. I live when I am with him. I live. He gives me life. They give me life. I live. I live. Please welcome up to the stage Seyi Adebanjo.
Peace, everyone. I've been sitting there trying to think through what I wanted to say about Brandon, and just gonna go off what's on the top of my head. I've known Brandon, since probably 1996 at the U of M, and he is someone who will always stay in my adulthood, and he is someone that just touched everyone. Like, he's the only person that I know has 3 events happening in New York for his celebration. One in Minnesota, one in Oakland, and it's only been a month. So imagine what else people are going to do for him. Is how he was, and what I always will remember about Brandon is his heart. Like, even when others had shit to say about him, he had such a big heart, and he would fight for you. And it's just, his passing is just still not right. I mean, I know for many people in this room, and Brandon was my brother, he was my sister, and he just would remind me how good I was, as I would remind him of that himself. And I think that's what his legacy is about. Like, how do we love and how do we organize and create for what we want, and don't forget each other, right? And just those little moments, like there's a picture of me almost sitting in his lap, and we would talk about that, and I didn't realize how important that was for him, right? And so I'll leave it at that. A piece that I wanted to read is from this book called Mariposas, a modern anthology of queer Latino poetry, and it's called Big Sam. I got an email the other day from Miss Carol Haynes, a newfound cousin. She wrote, "The Nichols were the family who owned us when we were slaves. And while most of us got free, Big Sam is still in chains. Big Sam was a good nigga, man, according to the chapter called The Darkies. In the Nichol family history, legend has it that Big Sam was the best teen driving man in Greensburg County. One day he turned a team of horses around in a narrow alleyway, and a white man offered to pay top dollar to buy that good nigga. And I wonder if Big Sam looked at that white man and thought it would be so easy to kill him, to turn loose his team and run him over, pound his white skin into the dirty stone of the street, turn the horses in circle after circle until his pale pink skin is dark, but not like mine. His skin will be bruised, dirty, the color of shit ground into snow. It could never be the deep shades of ebony, onyx, sun-kissed carbon that is my holy African inheritance. I wonder he thought those things while he samboed and through grit teeth, words digging double hands into the flesh of his tongue as he said, "Thank you, sir." Miss Carol's email continued, said she'd spoken with a nickel descendant that said, "Big Sam was such a good Negro man that my sister keeps a picture of him on her wall. And I wonder I wonder if Big Sam's ghost looks out of that photo. His spirit raging at 150 years of hanging, swinging by an invisible noose, watching television and screaming at the Genesis. That professor at Columbia, that pickup truck in Alabama, at all the nooses visible and invisible hanging around the necks of his people, his children, and his familial diaspora. Does he call in Yamayan or Shun, Legra and Ogun? Is he the man that Jesus climbed down from his cross and take up his father's Old Testament solution? Fire, salt, boils, locusts, and the bellies of whales. Does his spirit refuse to kneel before the throne of God because his knees were bent for too damn long? Does he stand outside of heaven's gates, refusing to come in until his picture comes down? And I wonder if he has found the peace that passes my understanding, if he can laugh and cry at the circumstances of his life, if he can turn the other cheek, if he can tell me how to calm the fire raging deep within me in a place as dark, wet, primal, that I never knew existed until the day I learned the name of our former slave masters, until I had a target for my sometimes inarticulate pen. The why behind my need to sing spirituals, not for escaping, but taking back the spirit breathing. Hung, swung, raped, worked, and sold out of my grandparents. Why at 30 the internet knows more than I know about my own family. And I wonder, Big Sam is waiting for me like he waited for Loma, Juanita, and Drusilla. Did he meet them just the other side of the setting sun and welcome them home? Did he watch as they shed skins that once imprisoned them? Did he hold them as they shouted, hollered, tore at their own throats to release their pain and joy, their fear and confusion? Did he walk them along that dark, uneven path towards understanding, catch them as they stumbled, stop them as they contemplated running back over the horizon to the bondage of the familiar? They think we found in constant aching, and I wonder how to rescue Big Sam, how to set free my great-great-great-grandfather, how to tear down the walls, strung up the strange fruit, blood fruit, my blood, my history, and I wonder if it is really Big Sam that is free. And Brandon, I know you're free now. I know you talk to us. I have his picture on my altar and it keeps jumping off. So I know he's here and we celebrate Brandon. And just thank you for this space. I look forward to seeing people on the night who can come and let's just remember each other and let's say we love each other when we're here. Let's not do it after the fact because we never know. And a moment is all we have. So thank you for this, Charles and Chris.
We met through a friend, and I was immediately taken in. Beautiful with a whiskey shot smile, all deep warm. After a few hours musing about racial politics, I asked him what his ethnicity was. And he laughed. I apologized, and he said that's okay. Said he got that all the time. And then went on to describe the beautiful branching roots of his heritage over spicy dumplings in Chinatown. Sad stories always have this cute little beginning that you think nothing of at the time. Looking back, you wish you had carved your names into concrete somewhere, so this moment had a memorial. Brandon invited my girlfriend and I to his house to play Axis and Allies. He played Japan, I played America. He cooked a spicy pancit. His dog Mimsy growled at her reflection. My girlfriend passed out on my lap. We never finished the game. Followed each other on Facebook, always said we should hang out again. Never got a chance. These time-sharpened remembrances break into staccato sentences as I count off the anniversaries of death until I forget to do so. And I too fade and turn someone else's first memory into a sad story. Every lost friend is an unfinished game. A story of war without armistice, soldiers frozen, a barrage of gunfire arranged in stillness. Thank you.
I met Brandon through a couple of friends that I am very proud to be in the company of Charlie Vasquez and Charlie Rice Gonzalez. I am part of the Macho to Mariposa collection. And when this happened, I was wondering, what am I going to do? Am I going to write something? Am I just going to talk about the experience of being totally blown up by his literature? And then I reread his book, and I said, oh, I know what I'm going to read. And I chose Ferlinghetti because his poetry was as insurgent art as it can be. And so this is for you, Brandon, wherever you are. I'm sure you're in our hearts. What are poets for in such an age? What is the use of poetry? Brandon, you are Whitman, you are Poe, you are Mark Twain, you are Emily Dickinson at Edmund St. Vincent Miller, you are Neruda, and you are Mayakovsky and Pasolini. You are an American or a non-American. You can conquer the conquerors with your words. O you gatherer of the fine ash of poetry, ash of the too white flame of poetry, consider those who have burned before you in the so white fire, crucible of Keats and Campana, Bruno and Sappho, Rimbaud and Poe and Corso and Shelley and Brandon, burning on the beach at Viareggio, and now in the night, in the general conflagration, the white light still consuming us, small clowns, with our light tapers held to the flame. Let me pray.
So if there's no one else, that concludes our evening. I wanted to say it's amazing that the folks that have come up here and have shared, some people have said they've had, and there are people in the room who have very intimate lives with Brandon, but some people have had very close lives, and some people kind of had a brush with him, some people had different kind of relationships. It's amazing how Seyi was saying there have been 3 celebrations here in New York City. There will be by Sunday 3 celebrations in New York City, and that just about everybody who we sent an email to who wanted to share something said yes. You know, and they wanted to be here and keep Brandon's memory alive and honor him. There were 2 folks that couldn't be here and they wanted to send a shout out to the room. Was Karen Jaime, who's another poet, and she is teaching upstate, and Robert Vasquez Pacheco, who got a sinus infection, but he was working on something that he wanted to read himself, so maybe if there's space on Sunday, he could keep there. But we want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. It's not over. We want to hang out, share stories, connect. I think that's what tonight is about. It's not only about the opportunity to share some words, but also an opportunity to keep Brandon alive in our hugs and in our connection. So, Cris,
just thank you all for coming. It's been really important for me to be part of this because I was actually in Chicago when I first got the news, and I actually thought the event was going to happen earlier. So thank you all for holding space and holding each other. And again, people have said over and over again, just hold each other and love each other, and now, like, you know, really hold each other now before I don't know, something unfortunate, or for you to regret not being able to tell someone that you love them and you care about them, and you don't realize the impact that people have on each other's lives until they're no longer there. So thank you again.
So we'll end, and we want to also thank Brandon's spirit. We invited Brandon's spirit into the room tonight, so we want to thank his spirit and his memory. And thank you to all the readers who read today, and also hopefully we'll see most folks on Sunday at 7 p.m. at Galapagos, where there will be another celebration with I think performances and readings and lots of fun. So we will continue this memory and we'll continue the celebration. Thank you all.